This is Crick Buzz Chatter with Adam Collins and Michael Vaughan on a very, very frustrating day for England, especially James Anderson. Look, Pakistan closed at 100 for 2. In theory, smooth sailing, England a day to go, but there's rain everywhere. Dropped catch for Anderson early today, picked up a wicket at the end, but in a way, Vaughanie, the whole narrative of this game is around the England veteran. Will he get the chance to take his 600th wicket tomorrow, or will rain make it so that he'll have to wait potentially all winter?
Well, he might have to wait till next year. I mean, the weather has started already. It's starting to absolutely hose it down, which might be a good sign because it might have arrived early, it might have gone by lunchtime tomorrow. We might get a session or two, you never know, but the forecast isn't good. Jimmy Anderson's created enough chances this week to get to 605 wickets. The catch that Jos Buttler dropped today will be one that he'll not want to see again. It's as easy as they come behind the stumps. Frustration for England, but full credit to Pakistan today. They played with great attrition and skill. Abid Ali at the top of the order just hung in there. Again, played with good technique, and Azhar Ali, the skipper, looks like he's in the mood. The pitch now is very much like a pitch that you think England will have to get better at getting wickets on, because these are the kind of surfaces that you get overseas. No lateral movement, not a great deal of seam, and the spinner Dominic Bess, he's bowled okay, but that's pretty much it. I don't think he's had a great day. I don't think he bowled wide enough, didn't get the ball into those footholes often enough, and he had this cover point on the boundary for far too long. Even in the last half an hour when the light was coming in, you're crying out, just attack, get some fielders around the bat, and there was one little bat pad that would have gone straight to silly point, but he had quite a negative field, which was a little bit frustrating.
It looks like they had to almost rely on a bit of reverse swing around the wicket from Stuart Broad. I mean, things that you don't normally expect when a team's following on and you're so far ahead in the game, but that kind of reflects the fact that it is a pretty tired environment now. This is the third test match at Southampton, of course, during this summer. A few one-day internationals as well, some warm-up games. I mean, we're seeing the signs of a ground that's had a lot of cricket played on it.
Oh, it's been battered. Full credit to the ground staff at both Old Trafford and here at the Ageas, but this has been a week really as a batsman that you should be scoring a few runs, because the previous few weeks, you only have to look at the second test here, the ball did all sorts. That first test at Old Trafford, you know, seamers were in play, spinners were in play, and all the test matches against the West Indies, there was always a little bit of movement. So this has been the week where, as a batsman, you've taken guard and you've just told yourself, stay in your bubble, play straight, just wait for the balls on your hip, and when it's short, it's had no effect because there's no real pace. So again, full credit to the ground staff. There was a slight concern about this pitch a few days before it, but it's played absolutely fine for the batsman.
In terms of Abid Ali, we haven't had much of an opportunity to discuss him on the segment so far through the series, on account of the fact that he hasn't done an awful lot, frankly, but today occupied the crease in between a number of rain delays and so on, and eventually fell to Anderson with that reverse swinging ball towards the end, but taken as a whole, a player of promise into the future.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a well-organised player. He looks like he's got a technique which, particularly on these kind of wickets, are quite slow. You go back to Pakistan or in Asian conditions, you feel that he'll have a lot of success with the way that he plays. So yeah, I think he'll have learned from his 3 test matches here in the UK. Once again, Michael Gough, though, he's had an incredible few weeks as an umpire. I think his decision-making process is around 94-95%. I think he's only had 2 decisions overturned out of over 30 odd, which is remarkable in these times. And I think sometimes we talk too much about players and, you know, individual players and teams. Well, sometimes we kind of manoeuvre the umpires to one side and don't give them any credit. Well, Michael Gough, you could argue, has been the standout player at the Sun because he's got pretty much every single decision spot on.
Okay, Vaughanie, let's go into the hot spot. In the hot spot, I want to dive a bit deeper on Dom Bess, a player who got almost no opportunities through the middle part of the summer. 2 entire test matches where he actually wasn't called upon to bowl at all. How do you assess his summer taken as a whole, especially given the fact that he's been given every opportunity as the number 1 spinner, and how important it'll be building on that experience when he does go to Asia over the winter? Yeah,
I mean, I hope he's learned from the experience. I'm sure England are certainly going to stick with him and give him more opportunities away from home. I felt for him because he hasn't bowled to too many left-handers. You look at the West Indies and now the Pakistan team, lots of right-handers for him to bowl at, which has not given him a great deal of opportunity. I mean, Nathan Lyon, the best off spinner in the world, he doesn't have a great record against right-handers, so it's not been easy for him. I just wished he could have got it a bit wider today. There was a little bit of a foothold there. He's just bowled a bit too straight for the right-handers, and his fields, particularly in that last hour, you know, I just don't think he was aggressive enough. I just think in times like we were playing in, when you knew the light was going to play a part, you just gamble, you just bring fielders around the bat. They've got plenty of runs to play with. They know that the weather's going to be around tomorrow. So at best you're thinking maybe tomorrow we'll only get half a day, 50 odd overs. So the Pakistan team are not going to have enough to get beyond the score and then give England a tricky session. So why haven't they attacked more, and why didn't he demand a silly point, a leg slip? Joe Root, the skipper, came on, he had a silly point, he had a short leg, a leg slip and an orthodox slip. So you've got a captain who bowls part-time off spin with a couple of leggies, by the way, being more aggressive and more attacking with his field than the frontline spin bowler. So that's a little bit of a concern, but he's certainly a spinner and a player and an all-round package that England need to buy a bit of time with.
All right, Vaughnie, in terms of pressing fast forward, I want to know what it'll mean to you as one of James Anderson's former captains. He had a lot of captains over the years since debuting all the way back in 2003. What will it mean to you and all these guys that have played with Jimmy over the years if he can finish the job tomorrow and have some closure on this summer?
Well, I just think it's remarkable what we're witnessing, a 38-year-old still delivering magnificent bowling spells, still kind of fit as a fiddle, still diving around in the field. And when you think he's going to be the first ever seam bowler to get to 600 wickets, when you go down the list of great fast bowlers, seam bowlers, the list is endless, and Jimmy Anderson is going to be the only player in Test match history to get 600 Test match wickets. It's a remarkable feat, and he's still got plenty left in the tanks. That's what he's telling everyone. This isn't going to be it. Will he go for 700? I doubt that, but don't rule anything out. The only problem he has is that obviously the ball goes in the air on a regular basis, and so far this week the England fielders don't look like they want him to get to 600 because they keep dropping the catches. So he'll want to carry on a bit longer, but it's a remarkable feat when Wasim Akram's in the commentary box next to us, and when you think of the legendary Wasim Akram, Waqar Younis is coaching Pakistan. Those two great names are on this venue. They didn't get near 600. Well, Jimmy Anderson is going to get to 600 Test match wickets.
Let's hope James Anderson gets the chance to do it tomorrow and we get enough play to get a result down at the Rose Bowl, the final day of Test cricket in this strange and most of the time beautiful summer. The fact we've got any cricket at all. We'll be here. Trust me, we'll be here. There'll be Crick Buzz live blog all day long, rain, hail or shine, and then we'll be here on Crick Buzz Chatter. Adam Collins and Michael Vaughan. Can't wait to see you then.